Randall.
It's senior night, and 3 seniors will be departing from the Mizzou Hockey program at the conclusion of the season. So, guys, a lot of emotions probably going through some players' heads. I mean, this is the last time they will be playing at Jefferson City. It's definitely emotional for some players, but let's get going with our pregame, Mizzou Hockey pregame show brought to you by Jim Butler Centralia, the exclusive automotive partner. I'm Luca Vitale alongside me, Adam Lewis, Aiden O'Connor. So, guys, just that first game, a 5-4 victory, definitely a game that I don't think many people thought was going to happen. I thought it was going to be a little bit more high scoring, like sort of a 8-5 sort of game. But, Aiden, your initial thoughts of the victory?
Yeah, I mean, first period, the way the Tigers started off to a 3-1 lead, I thought victory was definitely in the forefront. Maybe not the way that the game continued, but a great game played from top to bottom from both teams. Randall Miller between the pipes last night for Dallas Baptist stood on his head in the second and third period especially. Tanner Richardson really locked in, kind of got gritty in the third period and really made a nice amount of good saves for this team. And, you know, Mizzou really controlled the puck most of the game. The goals on the Dallas Baptist side really came on 2-on-1 rushes or breakaways. Mizzou did a really good job controlling it. And like I said, the goaltender Miller for Dallas Baptist stopped him a couple times, but you know, I think it could have easily been a much higher scoring game. But 5-4, nothing to spat at. You know, pretty good game and a win nonetheless for Missouri.
Yeah, definitely a really good takeaway. I mean, the fast start was very important for this Tigers team that saw themselves down 2-0 in Game 1 against Arkansas, and then 3-0 in Game 2. And obviously, facing deficits like that against a high-ranked team like Arkansas, it's hard to overcome that adversity and come back and win games. They did it once, and against Dallas Baptist, they were the better team coming out of the gate, and we saw that 3-1 after one period. But that second period, it looked like they got just a little out of character with their play. It looks like they were a little slowing down, like they were running out of gas just a little bit in Dallas Baptist, obviously capitalizing on those opportunities, and we saw Christian Beckett, what he's able to do. I mean, obviously, there's a reason why this player is top 20 in D3 in points, and that's why we saw it. We saw him on the doorstep by himself with about 2 minutes left in the game, and obviously that would have given Dallas Baptist probably the victory of most likely. But I will want to say this, Ethan DeGroat, we saw him in Game 1, and he looked absolutely fantastic on hat-trick watch mostly the entire night, and getting pucks on net, that is definitely something that Ethan DeGroat brings to the table, is his ability to get pucks on net, his speed, and his ability to get in the grade A chances on the ice, and we saw that in Game 1.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for DeGroat was he showed his versatility in the offensive zone. He potted those couple goals early, and as you mentioned, he was just finding ways to get pucks on net from a ton of different looks, different angles, setups with his teammates. So overall, I think he's really starting to gel in with this club and looking really good. But as we were talking about that Patriots club, I mean, coming in here, a long trip up from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they've only got 10 skaters and their 2 goalies on that bench. I think they did a really good job of being able to weather that storm early on and give themselves an opportunity to stay in that game. And really in that second period, we saw them kind of pick their chances a little more and be a little more explosive with those odd man rush opportunities. And that was what ultimately gave them the chance to really keep this game close.
I do want to talk about the third period, because I feel like the third period there is this switch of momentum. I feel like Dallas Baptist had the momentum throughout the second period, but the third period, what changed, Aiden?
Yeah, and I think one thing, just to credit what Adam just said there, Dallas Baptist staying tough, staying physical. They had 6 guys on their bench all night. Beckett played almost the entire game. He was on the PK. He was on the power play. This team really fought through a lot in this game. Like you said, they took over the momentum in the second period. I think the third period, the biggest change for Missouri was the physicality. I mentioned it in the first period on the call that, Mizzou is a team that is going to get gritty, is going to hit you. We didn't see a lot of that in the first and second period. They really bared down in the third period, got to work. Yes, it caused a couple penalties, but I also think it sort of put Missouri on top, gave them a little bit of an edge, and obviously it led to the game-winning goal.
Yeah, Missouri undefeated on home ice to this day, and obviously one more game to finish the season undefeated on home ice. Adam, what does the Tigers need to do to make that happen?
Well, I think this Dallas Baptist team proved that even though they're going to be short some guys, that they really have some capable scorers on that team. So I think they've really got to focus on bringing in a full 60. You can't be falling apart in that second period and allowing them to take the lead on you like that. And I think that the coaches and the team are totally going to be able to have themselves ready for whatever that they face in this game coming up.
I do want to credit Dallas Baptist and their ability to clog the lanes because Mizzou was frustrated throughout the night, not being able to get those pucks on net. And obviously, I do want to credit Randall Miller, who honestly did a phenomenal job not giving up too many second chances. I mean, this couple of times he did, they ended up goals. Nick Spolek had a goal that ended up becoming a second chance. So honestly, Randall Miller played a phenomenal game, and obviously you guys talked about how how short-handed they are, and obviously that plays a huge part in a team's success and how far they're able to go throughout the season. And Dallas Baptist, they played a phenomenal game. I got to give them credit where it's due. Christian Beckett showing the world who he is on hat-trick watch throughout the night. 2 goals. He only had 2 goals throughout the 2-game series last year, so we'll take a look what happens in Game 2, but let's sort of talk about who is the player that you think is going to score for Mizzou in Game 2.
Well, I think finding the back of the net is something that this player has done a lot of. A lot of players on this team clearly have done a lot of. Knapp obviously leads this team in goals, had the game winner tonight. I'm not going to pick him. One shout-out, I don't know, not exactly going to score, but crazier things have happened. Behind us this entire time as we're recording our pregame show for tomorrow's Saturday matinee game, if you will, at 4 o'clock, Jack Dobbs has been working in the goal with about, I'd say, 10, 15, I don't know if it's family, friends, or what, shooting on him. I think Dobbs is going to find a way to stand on his head tomorrow against a good team. He's going to play good. But for me, it's an easy choice, a goal and an assist tonight. Senior day, hopefully some friends and family here with him tomorrow to support him. Going with the captain. Put it over here for you to see. Nick Spolek is my pick to click, if you will, tomorrow. Maybe he finds the back of the net, but hey, 2, 3, maybe even 4 assists. It's about the same as a goal.
Yeah, I like that. And I'm glad you mentioned Jack Dobbs because we saw Jack Dobbs really struggling in that second game against Arkansas. And he was pulled midway through the second period, Tanner Richardson having to come in and stand on his head as well for Arkansas to not score 10 goals potentially in that second game. But Jack Dobbs, obviously, definitely someone to look forward to tomorrow as he hopes to bounce back against that rough outing against Arkansas. But for me, it's going to be Napper. Andrew Knapp, we talked about it throughout the last couple of months, especially against Missouri State in those latter series of December, that he didn't look like himself. He looked like he sort of cooled off. Charlie Walker, Nathan Austin, and Aaron Hemmer really picking up the slack. The first line just didn't seem right. They didn't seem like they had all that mojo, but the last couple of games, they've gotten their mojo back, and Andrew Knapp is definitely one of those players that has gotten, and he got the game winner and the game 1, and honestly, I feel like he's just going to erupt in Game 2 as well.
Couple picks there, but the guy that I'm going to go with is Eli Bumstark. I think with the emergence of his 2 new line mates, Ethan DeGroat and Mason Buddy, I think he looked really good paired up with them in the game yesterday. Only had 1 assist, but I expect that line to keep clicking, and I think we're going to see him get on the score sheet a little more often for the rest of this year.
All right, that will do it for our Mizzou Hockey pregame show brought to you by Jim Butler Centralia. My name's Luca Vitale, alongside me, Adam Lewis. Aiden O'Connor, thanks for tuning in, and tune in for the broadcast. We'll see you then.